Yellowstone fans gather around because we are facing yet another brand new spinoff. I know that after 1923 we all fell into a deep void, but 1944 is truly going to feel like medicine for all of us. What will Spencer and his son, John Dutton II, go through? Who is Spencer's other son? Are Elizabeth and her son returning to Dutton Ranch? Which star actors will be in the series? And most importantly, what is the release date? Let's take a look together at all the answers to these questions. And I already recommend that you will get ready because the most exciting Yellowstone spinoff is standing right in front of us. First, let's talk about the connection between the finale of 1923 and 1944. As you remember, in the finale of 1923, Spencer had lost his one and only Alex, and what remained of Alex was John Dutton II, who would remind them of their love. And we saw that Kara was taking care of John Dutton II, while Spencer, after Jacob's retirement, started taking care of Dutton Ranch. Elizabeth also had a very difficult finale. After Jack Dutton's unexpected death, we saw Elizabeth going to Boston to her family. As an important detail, we also knew that Elizabeth was pregnant with Jack's baby. So if we ask what happened between 1923 and 1944, we learned in the 1923 finale that Spencer started living with a woman who was also a widow like him, and that he also had a son from that woman. And at this point, what may face us as the main plot of the series is the relationship between John Dutton II and his half-brother. At this point, we might see a conflict between the brothers about who will take over Dutton Ranch after Spencer. Both brothers may claim that owning Dutton Ranch is their right. And at this point, it is not hard to predict that John Dutton II will be the dominant side in this conflict. However, we might also see his brother trying to convince Spencer by getting support from his mother. And this could give us a similar conflict to the Beth and Jamie fight we saw in Yellowstone. Of course, we know that another heir could be added to this disagreement between these two. And this person will be none other than Elizabeth's son. This child, who will be the same age as John Dutton II, will come to Montana to see the places where his father was born, and even to claim his rights in Dutton Ranch. And it looks like we will find ourselves in the middle of a very tough conflict. And in this conflict, we will most likely see Spencer also being quite torn in the middle. Even though he was not married to the mother of his child, I cannot imagine him doing injustice to this woman who helped him in his difficult times. For this reason, he will definitely not make a distinction between his children, and I am sure he will also give rights to his nephew, Jack Dutton's son. However, if even one of these heirs tries to betray him, I am sure they will face Spencer's uncontrollable rage, and in this way, we might see the Dutton family being torn apart from within. Another important storyline in the series will most likely be Spencer's relationship with his sons. And at this point, very tense scenes may be waiting for us. As you know, father and child relationships in the Duttons are never truly intimate. And in fact, family conflicts always arise because of this reason. And I think Spencer will become even more closed off after Alex's death. And because of this, he will have a very cold relationship with John Dutton II. In this way, we will also be able to learn the origins of why John Dutton III is such a ruthless and cold father. Also, I'm sure we will see Native Americans again, which is a must for any Yellowstone spinoff. I am really looking forward to seeing Tiana, who survived countless hardships, building her own family, and the rise of the Rainwater family. And seeing cooperation between these two families, starting between John Dutton II and Tiana's son, would also be incredible. All right, now let's come to the most exciting part. Which star actors will we see in the series? Although the cast of the series has not been officially announced yet, Brandon Sklenar, who played Spencer Dutton in 1923, said in interviews that he would like to play Spencer again in 1944. And honestly, it is almost impossible to watch Spencer without Brandon. The man truly delivered an iconic performance. I am sure that even with aging makeup that will make him look 21 years older, he will still deliver an outstanding performance. And if you ask who could play John Dutton II, who will be the main lead of the series, I think Austin Butler would be perfect for this role. Both with his resemblance to Spencer and his incredible talent, he would truly portray Spencer's cold and cool attitude in a brilliant way. I would say he was born to be a real tough cowboy. For Jack Dutton and Elizabeth's son, I think Ty Sheridan could play him. He really looks a lot like Jack Dutton, and I think it is long overdue for Ty's star to truly rise. 1944 would be a great opportunity for him. For Spencer's child, from the widow woman, I think Jack Loudon could play him. He really seems like he has the Dutton genes, and in his steadily rising career, 1944 would be a great stepping stone. Finally, I think Elizabeth Dutton would again be played by Michelle Randolph. She really did an amazing job in 1923, and you can understand how satisfied Taylor Sheridan is with her acting from the fact that they are working together again in Landman. For this reason, Michelle could continue delivering great performances in 1944 as well with age and makeup just like Brandon. All right, now let's get to the most important part. When is the release date? Unfortunately, there's no official release date at the moment. However, the project currently appears to be in pre-production on IMDb. Considering that Taylor Sheridan is expected to leave Paramount in 2029, Paramount will likely want to release all Yellowstone spin-offs before Taylor leaves. For this reason, I think the work will be completed as soon as possible, and the series could be released in late 2027. However, this series could also be a single-season miniseries like 1883. Still, I am sure that with amazing actors and the incredible stories that Taylor Sheridan will tell, we will once again watch a masterpiece. All right, now it is your turn. What kind of story do you think we could see in 1944? Which star actors do you think should be in the series? Write it in the comments. Meanwhile, check out the video on the screen. You are gonna love it.